afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for stopping by for our community focus event, Mentor Talks, Empower Your Career. And on behalf of the Algoma University School of Business and Economics and GetSet Consulting, I extend a very warm welcome to you all. Super excited to have you with us. We look forward to engaging you. A few housekeeping items, got to be strict sometimes. Feel free to leave your cameras on or off based on your preference. Try to keep yourself muted at all times. There will be plenty of opportunity for you to speak throughout the event. But if you have any questions or any concerns or anything of that sort, feel free to drop them in the chat. I also want to advise everyone that we are looking to record this session. And as you can see, that little red icon over there, you are being recorded. So if you want, take a couple of minutes, throw some makeup on, get a quick haircut, make yourself look pretty if you want to, but swing through. And I just want to, if you have any concerns about the recording or anything of that sort, feel free to drop it to us in the chat. Just wanted to give a quick introduction here. I'm Shah Khan with the School of Business and Economics. I'm the Academic Advancement and Office Administrator. No, you will not get an autograph. It's worth nothing. I'm just all about public relations and looking forward to this event. I'm going to hand it off to one of my team colleagues to introduce themselves, and we're just going to knock it off as we go down the line of all of our hosts. Iman, you're up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Iman Sahel. I'm the Student Support and Office Coordinator here at School BE. And I'm happy that everybody is here and they've taken out the time to attend this awesome event. And I'll now hand it off to Marissa. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. So my name's Marissa. And I'm here from the School BE team. We're just here to participate in this awesome event. I'm super excited to hear what all of our mentors have to say today. So yeah, let's keep going. I'll hand it off to Jeremy.
Hey everyone. Yes, my name is Jeremy. I'm the office assistant for the School of Business and Economics, and I'm based out of the Brampton campus. I work closely with Sharuk and Iman. Marissa and I work also really closely, but virtually right now. She works out of the main campus in Sault Ste. Marie. And yeah, no, I'm glad to see everyone here. We have some great mentors here. They're going to be sharing some great information. So, make sure you have a notepad out, a pen out, take some notes. I'm pretty sure they're going to also be sharing how you can get a hold of them at some point. So make sure you're also, taking down their contact information too if you ever have questions later on. But yeah, this is going to be a good session. So make sure you pay attention and learn lots. All right. And I'm going to hand it off to Sharuk.
Well, I'll introduce myself. I don't think people want to hear me talk too much, but I will hand it off to our GetSet team here. Priya, I'm going to let you lead the intros for your team.
Thank you, Sharuk. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Priya, and we'd like to welcome you to today's event, Mentor Talk, Empower Your Career Path. Thank you all for joining us today for what we hope will be informative and an interactive 2-hour event. Like Sharuk said, please do feel free to turn on your cameras. We'd love to see some faces. First, we'd like to extend our gratitude to the Algoma University School of Business and Economics and their host, Sharuk Khan, and his team, Iman, Jeremy, and Marissa, for helping us plan and coordinate today's activities. Thank you, Sharuk, for this amazing opportunity, and we hope this event is the first of many to come. We'd like to also thank all the students and professionals who have joined us today. Representing GetSet, we have Shri Nair, founder and CMO, Veni Subramaniam, Director of Client Relations, and Betsit Panikar, co-founder and COO. Before we begin, a brief intro about GetSet and our wonderful mentors. But I think before then, Sharuk, did you have something to did you want to continue?
Yes. So before we do get started, I would like to first begin by acknowledging the land on which I am based, Brampton. I acknowledge with respect that the land on which we are gathered on is a traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. I acknowledge with respect all of you joining us from Sault Ste. Marie, the Robinson-Huron Treaty territory of the Anishinaabe, specifically the Garden River and Batchewana First Nations, as well as the Métis people, and that Sault Ste. Marie is home to several urban First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. I also acknowledge with respect everyone joining us from Treaty 9 territory in Timmins, the traditional territory of Ojibwe, Chippewa, Mushkegowuk, Cree, Algonquin, and Métis people. And I would like to hand off to Priya now again, just to get us through the rest of the agenda for today.
Okay, thank you. So like I said, just a quick brief intro about GetSet before we get started. So GetSet is a fully digital Canadian community that helps connect people with professional and student mentors from a diverse range of industries. On our platform, students and professionals can receive advice, guidance, and support they need for professional and academic growth in Canada. So today is very exciting because we are joined by GetSet's three mentor musketeers. First, we have Nikhil Paul Singh. Nikhil is a project manager with Tata Consultancy Services. Before immigrating to Canada in 2020, he worked as a project manager and sales engineer in India for a number of years. He is very passionate about helping professionals who are new to Canada, and through GetSet's community, he aims to do more in the future. So welcome, Nikhil. Next, we would like to introduce Debora Azevedo. Debora is a career coach and mentor whose love for mentoring started when she was just 9 years old, as she recognized how much she enjoyed learning and helping others. She has a lot of experience in learning and development, career advice, and international business, and is known for her capacity to teach and guide candidates to success. So thank you for joining us, Debora. And finally, last but definitely not least, we have Munessa Buhaspatia. Munessa is an HR strategy manager at Mondelez Canada Inc. She has worked in the HR sector for over 10 years, along with her experience in other areas of business, including sales, marketing, learning and development, and people engagement. So as a mentor, she hopes to add value to job seekers and other candidates who are eager to understand the Canadian job market. So welcome, Munessa. So now let's jump into the event details. So our agenda for today is as follows. So first, we'll have each mentor host their 15-minute workshop. So during these workshops, please do feel free to type any questions that you may have in the chat box. So afterwards, we'll have a short 5-minute break before heading to our breakout rooms. Here you can have your questions answered and spend some time engaging and networking with everyone. So around 1:45, we'll meet back here for closing remarks. Remember, the most active participants in today's events will win some sweet Algoma merchandise. So make sure you get your questions in because we will be watching. So without further ado, let's invite our first mentor, Nikhil.
Thank you, Priya, and good afternoon, everyone. As you know, my name is Nikhil Pal Singh, and I'm a project manager. And it's a pleasure to meet all of you today, considering tough times. Today I'm going to talk about why is it important to build a personal brand? Why is it, important to brand yourself, considering current circumstances. And before I step into that, I'd like to talk about and like to take a moment and talk about my journey as an immigrant, so far, and what has helped me, attain success in a fairly short amount of time. Not to boast, but yes, when I came to Canada, right in the March of 2020, the lockdown was introduced, and the COVID pandemic, came in, and everything, went offline. Like, everything literally shut down, and everything pretty much went online. Now, at that point of time, I needed a method or a mechanism to increase my visibility. Well, one of the options was to go on typical job sites and upload my resume and wait for companies to call me back, give a call back. The other option was to look for a mechanism to, increase my social presence. And one of the, and that is why, I would say I got, I got introduced to the concept of personal branding. I think it is very important and very crucial because, and trust me, whether you like it or not, you have a brand in yourself, right? And in these current times, it is very important to increase your social presence and have a recognition. If people are able to recognize you, right, the chances of getting a job and, converting interviews is much better because you're already showcasing your skills, online. And while, a personal brand can build on any of the networking sites. I mean, be it Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn as well, so it's, whatnot. But LinkedIn, obviously, for obvious reasons, is one of the most professional, networking sites. So, and a few facts, before I get into, the strategies and tips I followed, to build a personal brand. And still building it, right? I'm still learning, but I thought I'll share my experience and learnings with you so that you can also start creating that online presence, which will certainly help you going forward to kickstart your career, right? So if we talk about facts, 17 million users use LinkedIn in Canada. Over 85% of recruiters use LinkedIn for initial screening, right? And at least three people are hired, every minute, via LinkedIn. And most of the users, in Canada are between the age of 25 to 34, right? So all young users. And when I say most, approximately 60%, and the sources, of these facts is Hootsuite. You can yourself go online and check these facts. And I'm not kidding, right? So LinkedIn, and especially after this pandemic, it's gaining a lot of importance. A lot of companies are, increasing their social presence, right? And we have to be, at par with all the trends, right? We have to stay relevant, right? Please remember, relevance is the key. And if you're taking all the right steps, you will have absolutely no problem starting your career, right? Or getting your dream job, right? So, one of the first, strategy, and like I said, I needed a digital mechanism, right, to increase my presence, right? So I started posting, in LinkedIn almost a year back in the month of maybe July 2020, right? And I started with a small topic like content is everywhere. You look left, you look right, you will find ample content. It's all about how you engage, right? And the start point was having a full all-star LinkedIn profile, right? So if any one of you don't have a LinkedIn profile, doesn't have a LinkedIn profile, a strong recommendation to go to LinkedIn online today and create a profile, right? And attain that all-star status. This will help you, create a strong foundation, because when you start, engaging with the audience on LinkedIn, you will have frequent profile visits, right? And the profile visits will help you create that online visibility. You will have a better reach, right? People will be aware. People will start slowly recognizing you. It doesn't happen overnight, right? The Rome wasn't built overnight. It's an eventual and very organic process, right? And you have to be patient throughout this process. So first is to create a LinkedIn profile and have an all-star status. When you have an all-star status, LinkedIn considers you as an active participant, right? And an active user of LinkedIn, right? Which helps you to, stay afloat and increase your visibility. And then once you have a full-fledged all-star LinkedIn profile, then you can easily, start posting content. This will help you to, and you're not going to get, likes, suddenly, you'll get 100 likes, 50 likes. You might even get 1 or 2 likes, but it has to start somewhere, right? And I also started somewhere. This Mentor Talks as an event is my first gig, trust me or not, but it has to start somewhere, right? I haven't delivered any speeches or any attended any events as a speaker, previously. This is my first event, literally, but it has to start somewhere. And this will be a big learning for all of you. If you have to build a personal brand, you have to start somewhere, right? And first step would be creating a LinkedIn profile, right? And then second would be to create, content, start, engaging its post, right? It could be anything, right? If you're studying a particular subject, right, start posting content relevant to subject, so that people can see that, you have knowledge. As a student, if I don't have much career professional experience, I will start with, disseminating or sharing my knowledge, what I've learned so far in my journey, right? And that will, automatically be picked up by the LinkedIn. Slowly and steadily, you will see that people will start engaging, right? When they see that you're making an effort, right? You're making an effort to create content, post content, relevant content, right? Always remember, relevance is the key. People will start appreciating it and slowly recognizing you. That is very important. And trust me or not, today I'm working as a project manager with TCS Canada. I never applied online, right? I got a call from them. And this has helped me to, attain my dream job within the span of 6 months. At the end of 6 months, trust me or not, I had 4 offers, in spite of all the, crazy madness, craziness, madness going around, not to boast, but it is all about taking the right steps. And one of the mechanism is building a personal brand, right? So once you create your LinkedIn profile, you, start posting content, right? Connect with people, right? And all these processes are parallel in nature. It's not like you typically follow, one after the other. It's all the processes should go parallel. You connect with people, you are creating content, be purposeful, right? There has to be a purpose, right? And you have to identify your audience. Like me, as an immigrant, I love helping people, be it a newcomer, a professional, a student, anyone, right? So I have an audience and I regularly post content, and I have, some sort of engagement coming in every now and then in my on my posts, right? So, and although I haven't still, built a very big brand, but I'm getting at it one step at a time. It's an eventual process, right? So my first approach was to create an all-star, right, LinkedIn profile, and then I started posting content. I was myself. I didn't, copy content. I was myself. You have to be authentic as well, right? And of course, nobody's, expecting perfect grammar. While you can always be as close to perfect, and you keep improvising. That's an eventual process, right? But you have to start somewhere. And then slowly, when I started posting content, I started getting, likes, people, started commenting, relating with me. Then once I had an audience, relating or relevance is very important, right? I would say, for the lack of better term, I would say the power of association, right? So associating yourself with your audience, once you have a certain audience, while you've been connecting with all these, wonderful people, professionals online, the power of association will, get you through. So, and it could be very simple, a recruiter, for example, visits your profile and, they are scrolling through your profile. They may, look at your interests, right? So add all your networking groups, in your LinkedIn profile. That is that's the, simplest thing that you could do. So the recruiter will be able to, see that, what kind of interest you have. Sometimes these interests are in alignment with what organization is also looking for, right? So that is another way, another aspect to look at it, right? And once you start, associating with people, you start, posting relevant content, you will see that people start, appreciating you. I get a lot of messages every day, and I make a point to, respond to all of them, right? That is, acknowledgement is very important. While people appreciate you, you also have to give it back to your community by acknowledging, right? So that is the power of association, that people can relate to your content, right? They can empathize with you, so that you this will help you, establish a fairly stronger brand, right? And then, after creating profile, posting content, engaging with your connections, adding them, and us getting associated with them, always have this thing in mind. And I'm a big fan of Japanese, right? Quality over quantity, right? So once you start posting, purposeful or maybe authentic content, you will have quality followers. Slow. And again, why I'm emphasizing and maybe stressing on the fact that is eventual, because, it is organic in nature. It takes time. And if you're, maybe, graduating, post-graduating this year or maybe next year, now is the time to start, and, working on your personal brand, and which is very important, right? So quality over quantity, right? Once you have some quality followers, right, and you engage with them regularly, right, it is very important to sustain. Once you start sustaining, and you have already built a momentum, and you're regularly posting content, relating with people, you have more people, seeing your content, because you're getting more likes, more people are seeing it, you're having more profile views, right? More people are adding you in your network, right? And they see that you're delivering value. It will be very easy for them and easy for you indeed to sustain. So sustaining is very important, be it any business, right? The idea of brand no longer applies to companies, right? You also have to build a brand. In these tough times, you want people to notice you. I nowadays, in fact, although I'm not actively, looking for a job in market, right? But I do get calls from recruiters, and I'm not, necessarily applying anywhere, because people have started noticing me, and it has taken a fair amount of hard work, posting relevant content. And then, once you have some quality followers, and then you have some good recruiters in your network, every now and then, take time to reflect on your thoughts, on your content. Now, this is where your strategy and your retrospective comes into the picture, right? This is a great opportunity for you to reflect what you have been, accomplishing. It's very important to celebrate your accomplishments, and to reassess them every now and then. I call them retrospectives, right? Because going forward, you change your roles, right? So your audience also changes accordingly a bit, and you have to stay relevant, like I mentioned earlier, right? So it is very important to reflect and reassess, right? And it all takes planning. Well, I walked you through all these 4 or 5 steps, which has helped me establish a fairly fairly good brand for me. It has worked for me. I've got job through it, right? you know um, it is very important to sustain and have a roadmap, because treat it like a project. Yeah, building a personal brand or getting a job is a project in itself, right? As long as you're taking all the right steps, I think you will definitely attain success. Now all you need is a strategy, a roadmap, and a plan. And always have 2 plans, by the way. If plan A doesn't work, then you can always pursue plan B. Backup is very important. So please ensure, as students, now is the time. Like, I wish, back then, if I had some guidance, I would have done better. So this platform is exactly been created to, make you aware, make you familiar of the best practices, so that you can, enhance your, chances of converting, getting your dream job, converting interviews, right? So one step is building a personal brand, so that people start recognizing you, and you can always, get on with it. And I think that is it from my side. Thank you. Over to you, Priya.
Thank you, Nikhil. Um, I always knew personal branding was important, but personally, as a student, it's always difficult to get started because you don't know where to start, you don't know where to begin. So thank you so much for the guidance and your advice. So once again, to the audience members, if you do have questions, please take the time to put it in the chat box so that Nikhil will answer them during our breakout rooms. So next, we will pass the floor to Debora Azevedo, our very own career sensei, who will be explaining the concept of the 360 job search and how you can use it to leverage your skills to get the job that you want. So over to you, Debora.
Thank you so much, Priya. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Algoma, for having us. So we'll make it short and sweet. Let's talk about how you can get the job after you started building your brand, as Nikhil talked about. And if you want to see how well are you doing on LinkedIn, you can just take a look at your sales index, social sales index. I just put the link on the chat, and if you go to that link, it will open to you your sales index. So you can see how good you are and which area that LinkedIn accesses. And then you can decide how to improve. It's about more people, it's about creating more content. What can you do to improve your participation on LinkedIn? And of course, Nikhil was completely right saying that that is the main platform nowadays to look for a job. It doesn't matter if you have a good resume, probably your next job will come through LinkedIn. And this is huge. This is important. So let's jump into the 360. Let me tell you that this content you will receive through email just after this session. So don't get worried about copying, or you'll get exactly what I'm showing you here. So I'll just go to the main points because we don't have much time. Before you begin your job search, you should have your positioning, your personal brand, and your value proposition. I call this the 3 Ps. If you don't get these 3 aspects together and you don't know them, it will be trickier for you to land a job because you will not be passing a consistent message to recruiters and to hiring managers. So positioning is the job that you want. What is the position that you want? Are you a customer service specialist? Are you administrative assistant? What are you? What do you want to have as a job? That is the first thing, and that should be in your LinkedIn headline. Don't put there that you are a student. Don't put there that you are looking for a job. Put the name of the position that you want to get. The personal brand. Nikhil talked a lot about that, so I'll just say you need to know what you are good at. You need to know what are your strengths, and you need to put that out there also. So you need to include it in your headline as well. And finally, value proposition. If someone hires you, what you will bring to the table. What are you good at? What kind of uniqueness is about you that sets you apart from all the other candidates? Every and each one of us has something that is unique, and you need to sell this. You need to showcase your uniqueness, your skills in a way that hiring managers will want to talk with you. Because remember, LinkedIn and resume, they don't land you a job. They land you an interview. So the main goal for a LinkedIn or a resume is to land you an interview, and then you will explain yourself to that hiring manager, to that recruiter. So moving on, let me see here. The idea of a 360 job search is that you don't put all your eggs in just one basket. That's an idea that everybody can relate to, isn't it? So you don't put all your eggs in just one basket. It means you need to have different approach for your job search because you never know from where will come that job offer. What does it mean? You need to understand that there are passive and active strategies to job search. The passive ones is the ones that you put information out there and wait for people to reach out to you. The active ones is the ones that you go out and engage with people, do something to make people aware of you. Also, you can have a broad strategy, meaning you are looking at many companies, many industries, or you can have a focused strategy. That is, you have a set of companies that you would like to work for. Let's say 10 companies that you selected, and you will work more closely with them. So understanding that, the goal is to have this kind of bullseye packet with different activities. So you will do a little bit of each one of them, and this way you'll be spreading your brand, spreading your reach, and be more effective in your job search. I have in this first part here the different activities. So for example, if you have a generic resume, okay, that one that is not targeted to any company, you have your generic resume. What are you going to do with that? you will just upload it on Indeed, for example, or Monster, or other websites and platforms, and leave it there. People may notice you. You can set up notifications for specific jobs or for specific companies. You can choose your targeted companies and then just monitor there. And not just monitor the jobs, but monitor the activities. Are they expanding? Are they launching a new product? What are they doing? Who are the people inside that company that you can just connect with? So when you start to do those kinds of activities, you'll be more focused and more in tune with the idea that, okay, those are my targeted companies. I want to work there and I have a good reason to work there. But that's not all. As Nikhil told you, you need to create and share content. You need to establish that you are a specialist in something. Oh, Deborah, but I'm just in the beginning of my career. How can I establish myself as a specialist? Maybe it's a software that you are very good at, or is your communication skills, or your ability to clean a data set. I don't know what you are good at, but you need to showcase your specialties, your skills. Well, let me wrap up this part. So if you go for different approaches and you just cast your net very broadly in different activities while job searching, the probability is that you will be much more successful. So in that material, you will have a lot of websites where you can put your resume and places to look for a job. So please do it. And we are now moving to my next topic. That is, how can you just make sure that your experiences are showcased properly at, let me see, at your resume. So here is what I want to share. Okay. Are you seeing Vanny's resume? Yes?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is Vanny's resume, and she is with us today here. And she has a very impressive resume. And her resume, if you know anyone could have this resume as someone that is just graduating, I would say that you would be pretty well. Wouldn't you kill for a resume like this? She has education, she has wonderful grades, she has experience, she has extracurricular and many skills. It's a good resume. The point is, it's not just about the content that you put in your resume that will get you that interview. You need to put it in a way that shows the recruiter really quickly how good you are. So I will now show you the new resume. And this is Vanny's new resume. And you can compare. The old one is in the left side of my screen and the new one is in the right side of my screen. And I would like to invite Vanny to make a comment on the changes that we did on her resume. Please, Vanny.
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick note, I'm not able to see both of them. I'm only able to see the old one. I'm not sure if everyone can see it.
Okay. I will do it again. Let's see. Okay. For some reason, yeah.
Okay.
Now you can see the new one.
Yes, now you can see the new one. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so thank you so much, Deborah, for helping me recreate my resume. I think the biggest kind of takeaway that I was able to see through this process of changing up the resume is really the perspective that I had. So I've been writing my resume for so many years now, and I feel like I was just kind of stuck in that one perspective. Like I knew what I did, and I felt like I was just regurgitating exactly what I did, and I couldn't see how I could change it. But with your help, I was really able to change my perspective to that of a potential recruiter or a company that I'm applying to. And I was able, because of this change of perspective, I was able to alter some keywords and take some things out that I felt like weren't adding value to in the recruiter's eyes. So yeah, your help was honestly so great in terms of changing my perspective and getting me out of that narrow-minded view in terms of how to fix up my resume.
Thank you, Veni. And the thing is, her resume was pretty good to begin with. It was not a bad resume. It looks good, it has a lot of content, it has a lot of important information, but the point is you can always just spice it up a little bit, you know? And Veni hit the nail in the head. You need to prepare your resume thinking about what the recruiter wants to see and how fast they will decide if you are a match for that job or not. And you don't have much time to do that. They will only look at your resume from 6 to 10 seconds. So you need the important information to just stare them in the face. And that's what we did with her resume. And I will show you, you know, because at this moment, maybe some of you are just saying, okay, yeah, if I had a resume like Veni's, I would do that, but I don't have one like that. I have little experience. All that I did so far was working in a coffee shop. So how can I do it? And I have here another resume. And this one, we don't have a name, but I have the experience of this person. And this person was applying as a customer service representative. And with the same resume, only a little bit of tweaking, she was also applying as an administrative assistant. And she got the administrative assistant job. What I want to show you is the customer service representative that she was using. She also has a summary of qualifications, like in Veni's case, but she puts things here that don't say, I worked at Starbucks for 2 years, a little over 2 years. She puts the things, the important things that she did, and that are the summary of her qualifications. And in the work experience, she also has a very special way to present how good she was at her job. So she doesn't say, oh, I was a shift supervisor at Starbucks and I take care of this, this, and that. No, pay attention to the way that the information is delivered. Managed the team and provided excellent service for an average of 2,500 people per day, over 250 people per hour at rush time, generating revenue of $7,000 a day. So this person is aware of her impact in the organization. She understands the organization. And this is the kind of content that will drive a recruiter or a hiring manager to your resume. So you need to be specific, you need to be focused, you need to be direct to the point. Think about what kind of skills they want, they are asking for in the job ad, and how can you deliver those skills. That is the main point. When you focus on that, you can turn any experience into something that is valuable in your resume. It can be participating in a sports team. It can be an internship, any place, anywhere. You can turn any experience in your life into something positive if you write it in the right way. So Think about a narrative, a way to put out your experiences, your skills that will be valuable for the recruiters and the hiring managers. That was it for now. If you have questions, I'll be in the breakout rooms later. And now back to you, Priya.
Thank you, Deborah and Vani. And Deborah, seriously, where have you been all my life? Because during your talk, I was just glancing over my resume and it's not as nearly as impressive as Vani's, but you gave some amazing tips. So I will definitely be rewatching this portion and trying to spice it up and make it stand out. So thank you for your advice. So now we are at our last mentor for today, Munessa. She will be discussing the best way to navigate your internship journey and leave a meaningful impression on your manager and peers. So I will pass the mic over to Munessa.
Thank you, Priya, and hi, everybody. So if I start by saying that as part of some statistic from universities of Canada, 80% of employers stated that internship students are a source of new talent and potential future employee. And you also have more than 60% employers who hire interns as full-time employees once they graduate from their undergraduate studies or their graduate studies. But what does that mean for you, and how can you make that impact with your employer and with your team to be seen as that new talent and that potential future employee? So this is what we'll be discussing today in the workshop about how you can gain those invaluable experience in your internship journey and make your mark. And one of the tips, 3 tips that I'll be sharing with you is based on my own experience of managing internship programs in my previous, with my previous employers, where 90% of my interns actually got full-time job before they even graduated from their university or college degree. So we will start by covering 3 tips that will be used based on what I've seen. It's the foundation that will get you started to make your mark with your employer. The first one is to have a plan. When you're given your project, when you're given your task, this is basically the starting point where you break it down into bite size. You create a plan to outline your key milestone on what is expected of you based on the project. And your plan will keep changing. It will keep evolving as you work on it, and that is totally okay. Just let it run its course and embrace it, because as it will come with challenges, this will also help you grow and show your team member and your manager or your team how you work and how you adapt to change. The tip number 2 would be to make sure that once you get your project, you have your plan, how do you drive alignment with your manager, your team, and your peers, and how do you stay service oriented? What I mean by that is, as an intern, you're not alone. Even if you're starting in a company as your first time job, not necessarily as an intern, you're not alone. Always align with your manager on how you're progressing with your task. Share timely updates on your progress. Keep your team members and your managers in the loop of any roadblocks that you're experiencing. But even if you have any roadblocks, try to think about what are some solutions that you're thinking about that you can implement, and go with them, go to them with those solutions to see whether you're on the right track or not. This will show them that you understand what you're working on, you understand the value that you can create for them and for yourself, and that you're being proactive in thinking about the business and the output that they're expecting of you. Now, what I mean by the service-oriented is that in an internship role or as an entry-level employer in any company, you need to show that you are customer oriented, and that you are finding ways to create value for your company while giving that customer experience to your team and the stakeholders that you're working with. One thing is they want to see how you work. They want to see how you're interacting with them or other stakeholders. And they want to see how you behave in the workplace, whether it's on-site, whether it's virtually, and how you change your attitude to adapt to different situations. So all of that coming together to basically give you that successful internship experience that you're looking for and that your employer is also looking for from their perspective. Last but not least, the third tip I want to share with you today is to be open to learning and to seek feedback. One of the things is, as you get your project or your task, discuss expectation with your manager upfront. See what they're looking for in your performance. See what they're looking for in how you want to tackle the project. Because one of the things that they would want to see is, are you organized with your project? Do you take the time to follow up with them or your stakeholders? Do you take initiative instead of just waiting for things to come your way? And do you proactively create and build relationship so that you create your own network in that corporate environment? The other thing about being open to learning is that you understand your own working style and you understand your work ethics. So this means, how well do you work with others and interact with others? How well do you adapt to the company's norms and culture? And how productive are you with your own time and also others' time when you are working on your project? For example, if you have any downtime, what are you doing with that time? Are you seeking for other projects to work on? Are you asking if you can job shadow somebody from another department, for example, that you really would love to learn about what that individual is working on? So this is how you can leverage your time and show that you are keen to learning and you're keen to receiving feedback during your journey. While you're also being open to feedback, this will also help you to understand how your attitude comes into play when you are put in different situations, whether you're put into working under pressure, whether there is a timeline coming up, it has been pushed from 2 weeks to now like 2 days, you have to complete something. So this will help you understand how you deal with stress, how you behave in the workplace when something that is uncertain comes your way. And this is where it is the best moment for you to ask for feedback, get the feedback, and try to implement different ways for you to grow, and even show your team members and your employer that you are willing to grow and you're willing to be open to learning about different ways of working. So in summary, with learning and seeking feedback, this will also show you how you fit in the organization, because one of the aspects of doing an internship, doing a co-op, or being in an entry-level role is that you get to understand your own values, you get to understand your principles, you get to understand how you fit in an organization, and whether that is the organization you want to work for long term. Your internship journey is not only about your final outcome of your project. It has to do with how you portray yourself as an individual. As Nikhil said, like, how do you create your personal brand? So how you want your team member to remember you. And as Debora said, is once you land your job, how do you then showcase your skill set with your employer to let them know that you are the talent that they want to keep in the organization? So these are the three tips, that will help you succeed in your internship journey and help you build that foundation so that your employer sees you as a new talent moving forward. And lastly, your internship journey is about building your advocacy. It's about discovering your strength, your areas of improvement, discovering your personal brand, discovering your skill sets. This is about understanding how you work with others, whether you like being in a corporate environment or whether you want to be in the field or like, any type of working space. This is something that you discover as you work with the team, as you work on different projects and tasks. But remember, with your internship journey or any job that you're working on, have fun, because it's a learning experience. And it's about understanding you as much as delivering on your objectives. So take the time to learn about yourself and understand what you can do and what you want to do to grow further in your career. So I'll leave you with this thought about how you want to discover yourself when you join a company, and also how you want to be remembered and create your personal brand when you are working with a team and with an employer. Thank you.
Thank you, Munessa. I think internships and co-op jobs are always so helpful because it doesn't just give you experience in your field, but you're right, you get a feel on how to communicate with your employers and get feedback for self-growth. So thank you so much for your advice. So once again, thank you so much, mentors. And as for our audience, I hope you guys got your questions in the chat box, because we will be starting our breakout session in about 5 minutes. So we'll meet back around 1:03, 1:04 p.m. And once again, I want to remind you, we do have some sweet prizes for our most active participants. So we will take a short break now and we'll see you shortly. Okay, thank you. All right, so welcome back, everyone. I hope you guys got your questions answered. And if you didn't, no worries. We'll try to address the remaining questions on our follow-up email. We'll also send you the recording of our session, answers to questions, and all the documents that were shared today. So once again, I'd like to thank the Algoma University for partnering with us and helping us to coordinate this event. A huge thank you to our wonderful mentors, Nikhil, Debora, and Munessa, for joining us and hosting their amazing workshops. And finally, I thank you to all of our audience members and participants for being here. And we hope you learned something really valuable today. Just some final details for everyone to keep in mind once we wrap up here. As a reminder, we will be sending out a follow-up email where you can download PDFs of the mentors' worksheets, and get a link to an event feedback survey to let us know how we did. By submitting a completed survey, you will be entered in a random draw for a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card. It's locked down, so I'm sure we all have an Amazon addiction by now. We'll be in touch with the most active participants in today's breakout rooms to reward them their prizes as well. So please check your inbox for future emails from GetSet. So once again, thank you all for being here. If you're interested in learning more about GetSet or booking a session with one of our amazing mentors, please visit our website at getset.today. You will also find us on LinkedIn or follow us on Instagram at getset.ca. So I will pass it over to the Algoma team for closing remarks.
Thank you, Priya. So personal branding, networking, job hunting, a lot of big takeaways, a lot of information for our participants. So I hope you were able to glean a few. And again, as everyone's encouraged you, do connect with your mentors, to connect with us, just so you know, to keep those relationships alive. We'll be sure to help you down the line. I would like to thank our mentors, Nikhil, Debora, Munessa. Lovely hearing you speak, a lot of information for us as well. And I really appreciate you take the time out of your busy schedules to share your wisdom and thoughts with our students, because clearly I have none to share. So I'm glad somebody was able to do something for us. So as they continue to grow in their academic and professional careers, the information provided today should be super beneficial to them. I'd like to thank the School of Business and Economics and GetSet teams for helping collaborate in setting up this event and making it as fun as it could be. And most importantly, I'd like to thank you, the participants. Your engagement to an extent and your participation in this learning journey is deeply appreciated. And again, as I mentioned earlier, really hope you guys had some really positive takeaways from there. And as we've mentioned multiple times, We do have a lot of cool prizes, some School BE merchandise, some gift cards waiting for you. And the most active participants of today's session will receive those prizes. But we won't declare the winners just yet, so it's going to be a surprise. And if you don't hear back from anyone, blame Iman. It wasn't me, just letting you all know. There, Iman threw you under the bus, just had to. And again, there is a feedback survey coming your way, so do fill it out for a shot at that cash prize. And that, folks, concludes our event. Thank you for coming out. Really appreciate having you all here. Until we meet again, you all stay safe and sane. Have a great rest of the week.